Give the gift of a delicious burger from Bulldog Burger, a soup and sandwich from Sweet Pepper's Deli, appetizers and cocktails from The Grill, or even a wood-fired steak from Harvey's. Choice is the perfect gift. An all-in-one gift card from Eat With Us.
Enjoy your home for the holidays with store-wide savings at Room to Room. 50% off, 48-month special financing, and as our gift to you, a free accessory buyer's card. There's something here for everyone, including gift cards. Merry Christmas from Room to Room Tupelo.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 5.
Good Monday evening and welcome into Mississippi Live Weather at 5. I'm meteorologist Gabe Maynor in a cold forecast across North Mississippi heading into this evening, and we know we have an action-packed night filled with Christmas parades across the region. Our chief meteorologist Matt Lavon actually joining us live out in the field at one of those parades, and that parade is coming in from Booneville. Matt, I can see the lights already flashing behind you. Folks getting ready. Just talk to us about how it feels out there and the energy heading into the Booneville Christmas Parade. Yeah, in summary, right?
How it feels is super duper easy tonight. I mean, even talking to some of the law enforcement officers up here, it is a cold evening. You know, we're at the lineup for the parade, which is actually on the Northeast campus. I'm going to be heading over to near the Church of Christ here in a couple of minutes as we'll be able to kind of get in line. Believe it or not, I think we'll actually ride on with some of the folks there at Northeast Mississippi Community College in the parade this evening. You can see behind me here, again, some of the floats got inflatables on them. Of course, if you saw the flashing lights, everyone's still getting lined up. Parade doesn't actually start until 6 p.m. this evening, so everything's still getting organized. High above us, the Mississippi Live drone zoomed in this evening on where I'm at here, looking at, again, those inflatables that you are seeing.
Flashing lights, everyone's still getting lined up. Parade doesn't actually...
Hold on a second here. Make sure I get my microphone muted on that. There we go. And so you can see kind of on the wider shot there, again, still waiting all of the folks getting up and in place for this parade, expecting that to obviously become more widespread as we go into and through the evening. By the way, Gabe, I hear in the background there, it sounds like I can hear some of the audio from one of the previous parades there. So just kind of a heads up on that graphic. But again, appreciate the good folks at MLM for helping us here on Mississippi Live Weather as we're preparing for this parade up here in Booneville this evening on what is certainly a cold night. And that really is one of our big weather headlines, Gabe, as we bring things back down here to ground level, is just kind of how chilly things are at this evening. Hopefully you're preparing accordingly. As you can see, dry and cold this evening, but at least we have dry. And that certainly was a big trick with all the parades we had last week. A brief warm up is on the way for midweek. We will look at just how warm that could end up getting. But cold air returns for this weekend. Maybe not as cold as some anticipate. We'll look in more detail at that coming up here in a couple of minutes. But certainly cold enough this evening as that temperature coming in at this time in most locations pretty chilly. But as of the latest update there, I think that temperature coming in 39. There we are. Feels like 34. And you can help that if you can cover up that exposed skin. It makes a huge difference on making it feel much more mild. So looking through the first 12, expecting those conditions again to stay relatively, there we are, back to the first 12 there. Relatively cold, going to about 34 by 9 p.m., 31 as we look toward midnight, and then back into the mid-20s for early tomorrow. The wind is not extreme, but there's just enough out there that obviously you want to do what you can to try to stay warm. Okay, so looking around the region at some of those temperatures, coming in around 39 degrees in Tupelo, as well as Booneville, up here where we're at on the campus of Northeast Mississippi Community College. 42 out there for Greenwood. We know we have some other parades out there. Starkville coming in 43 degrees, one of the high vote getters in our parade vote earlier on today. And again, a lot of others around this evening, but in all cases, expected to be fairly chilly with that wind chill factor in the mid 30s to upper 30s. I guess we show a couple spots nearly the 40 degree point, but that's more the exceptional rule. Certainly, it is a cool evening taking shape for us here. And so as we look at Mississippi Live Weather Radar, at least we are dry and clear kind of on the close-in scans, even kind of the wider ones as well. With high pressure, largely the story, as you can see, trying to build in from the west. There is another storm system up north of us. And again, we'll talk a lot more about those precipitation chances and what's largely keeping those away in a minute. But notice if you look closely there, Pine Bluff, Arkansas, back toward Shreveport, and then New Orleans, back to the west. There's kind of the edge of this cloud cover. We've just been locked in the dreariness in a big way. And that likely continues to be kind of a factor over the next day or so. We'll look more at that, as you can see on Futurecast here. And certainly That keeps us dry into and through the evening. It does try to get things a little clearer by, say, 10:30, 11 o'clock tonight. I think that is highly optimistic. But if we see any kind of clearing overnight, that temperature will be in the mid-20s, certainly for some of those wind chills and actual temperatures for tomorrow morning. Is that high pressure center, though, showing us that dry conditions are largely a story. So for the next 24 hours, at 6 a.m., we're looking about 28 degrees for early tomorrow. We're 48 by noon and 53 by afternoon with some more sun than what we had today. But don't be shocked if that cloud cover is really pesky and tries to stick around. Coming up in 60 seconds, that's what our meteorologist Gabe Maynard is looking in more detail at, looking toward just exactly when we should see a bit more sunshine, how that then impacts those temperatures. As you can see behind me here, the floats are ready. Everyone getting lined up for the big Christmas parade here in Booneville. We'll be looking at a few more of those floats as we get ready for that parade to start at 6 p.m. Coming up here as Mississippi Live Weather continues from the mobile room-to-room weather center up in Booneville in just a couple of moments.
When choosing a dentist for our family, Tupelo Smiles was the answer for us. They greet us with warm smiles right when we walk in the door, and they make us feel so welcome. We love Tupelo Smiles.
At First Choice Bank, we know you can't always make it before the bank closes. With our integrated teller, you can talk to a live person as late as 7 p.m. on weekdays and noon on Saturdays. It's not just an ATM, it's an ITM. First Choice Bank, your choice for banking.
Growing up, Gabe was naturally curious. When he began to discover weather, Gabe just didn't want to know what was happening, but he wanted to know why it was happening. Gabe became fascinated with tornadoes and it impacted his life. He wanted to pursue a career in meteorology. Even though Gabe grew up in Alabama, Mississippi has now become his home and his family. And one thing about Gabe is he keeps his family safe.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynard.
As Matt mentioned a moment ago, cold temperatures highlight our forecast heading into this evening, and same can be said over there in Panola County with 39 degrees, dew points at 32, so shows that drier air that is in place, and that 7-degree wind coming out of the northwest, that's cooling things off, so this feels like values around 34 degrees, bumping it back a few degrees, so layer up, and layer up. That's the big message we're sending heading into those forecasts tonight. We don't have a camera in Booneville, unfortunately, but Tupelo looking north is going to be our best bet on that to view anything up there in the Prentiss County area. 39 degrees and still a cold forecast here in Lee County as well. A big thank you to Mitchell Cunningham and Bowling for partnering with us there for the Tupelo Tower Cam, and just excited to be partnering with them on this journey and allowing us for those sites up there in Tupelo. Great look out there and still that gloomy night overhead. And we jump down there towards West Point. We mentioned Starkville was another parade this evening. West Point as well. And 45 degrees there in Clay County. It's going to be a cold one once again, but a few degrees warmer than where things sit in Tupelo or the Batesville area. So honestly, not a bad forecast nonetheless, but look at our Mississippi Live Weather radar and not tracking a drop of rainfall across North Mississippi. So that's the big story compared to what we saw this time yesterday. No scattered rainfall in this forecast. It's going to be dry, and those dry conditions really reign supreme heading into that extended forecast as well. Looking at some of those rainfall totals, you can see some of those stripes right across the central portion of our viewing area, and those totals didn't amount to anything too significant. We see close to a ½ inch there towards Bruce, just over a ½ inch on the east side of Amory, but the rest of us, 1/4 inch here, 1/4 inch there. That's really the theme across North Mississippi. So this rainfall, although it lingered all afternoon and evening, wasn't exactly impactful whenever it came to our rainfall totals. So, but looking at our drought monitor, it was really, a reassuring sight, seeing where the highest rainfall totals came out. Let's go back to that graphic right there, Water Valley to Bruce. Look at where that level 3 drought still stands. Right there in that Water Valley to Bruce area, needing that to go up there towards Lafayette County and Panola County as well. But excited to get at least a little bit of rainfall to hopefully accommodate for these drought conditions. Of course, the latest one coming out on Thursday, but always a welcome sight when it lines up with those locations that need the rainfall the most. Temperatures across the region, as you can see, those blues setting into North Mississippi, and that's going to drop those temperatures into the 30s, the low 40s, and that'll continue to build overnight. But we are just in this area of cold, cold air with high pressure remaining right here in the Texarkana area. As that high pressure system works its way east, then these warmer temperatures move back into the forecast. But as of right now, not the case tonight. Just highlighting a few of those totals across North Mississippi and up there into Arkansas and Missouri. You can kind of get a visual that we are in the worst of it, and this just gets colder overnight. So upper 20s a realistic possibility. So those parade planners this evening need the warm gear on top of it. Layers and layers, definitely a necessity as we celebrate those parades and celebrate the Christmas season moving in full force. 42 degrees by 5, 39 by 6, and 38 degrees by 7. Still, as Matt was mentioning, with those clouds working their way through, I think we'll have a few breaks heading into our Tuesday, allowing that sunshine to peek through, but by midweek, that sunshine will really reign supreme, so gives us a little something to look forward to once we get out of this gloomy pattern. Now, Futurecast for your Monday evening stays on the drier side, like we mentioned, but those clouds giving us a false sense of security because it's not going to have any rainfall associated with it. We usually associate clouds with rain. Not the case tonight. Just going to be a gloomy evening. 8 p.m. still with those same conditions. You can see a few breaks here and there, but again, I'm not overly sold that we're going to be dealing with mostly clear skies by tomorrow morning. I'd say we're still partly cloudy to mostly cloudy getting into the start of our Tuesday. So working that Futurecast ahead into those early AM hours, you can see some of those breaks already taking place and that drier air still pushing into North Mississippi. And that continues to be in place by the time we get towards the morning commute. So make sure to layer up heading out the door. But luckily, this cloud cover keeps temperatures better than what they could be. And I'm going to say that. I know there's 20s behind me, but just trust me, if that cloud cover was not there, we could be talking low 20s here in North Mississippi. So honestly, I'm welcoming this because this is warmer than what things definitely could have been. 27 in Tupelo tomorrow morning, 28 Eupora, 27 Water Valley, and 30 in South Haven. So layer up. It's going to be cold. It's going to be below freezing. Frosty starts as well. So crank those cars a little bit early to accommodate for some of those potential frosty conditions, because everywhere across North Mississippi going to be sitting at or below freezing heading into that morning commute. Now, wind chill, not going to be as much of a factor as it was this morning. I know I walked out the door to walk my wife to the car, and it was not a welcome setting whenever it came to how cold it was and that wind just making it, it was chilly. It was miserable, in my opinion. So I was very excited to get back inside into the heat. Your school bus forecast, 28 degrees at pickup, 53 by drop-off. So things do get better by the afternoon. And a large part of that is due to the clearing, allowing that sunshine to warm up our atmosphere and get back into the low 50s. Definitely a welcome sight and one that we've definitely missed here in North Mississippi. All right, let's take Futurecast through your Tuesday morning. And as you can see, stays with those drier conditions and high pressure working its way east towards the Gulf Coast here in Mississippi. So that continues to work its way through by that 10 o'clock hour before starting to get on the southern and southeast side of our viewing area into our early Tuesday afternoon. Now, as that transitions further towards the east, we will get some break in that cloud cover heading into our Tuesday afternoon. That's where we have those partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies working their way back into North Mississippi. So again, a welcome sight and one that we will definitely take, but kind of hinting at the clearing that's going to be beyond that line right across the Mississippi River working its way east, and that's going to carry a lot of this cloud cover out of our area and bring it with it some mostly clear to potentially sunny skies. So 6 p.m. Tuesday, last of that cloud cover working its way out of the region, but those winds already starting to transition as well. So those southerly winds working with those sky conditions to allow for some warming to take place, and that of course bring in the warmer air further towards our south. That's going to be what happens when we're on the west side of a high pressure. So high temperatures Tuesday, already feeling a little bit warmer with 51 in Oxford, 56 Eupora, 54 Columbus, 55 Louisville, and 56 towards Belzona. Things are definitely trending in the right direction, trending closer to average. It's been a while since we've been able to say that, so no complaints here. But look at those breezy conditions already pushing into North Mississippi by the time we get into our Tuesday night. Those winds, though, moving in from the south, so not going to be that northerly component, so that colder air not exactly going to be what's moving into North Mississippi. It's going to be the warmer air as a result of that Gulf moisture. So 6 a.m. Wednesday, we're waking up, heading out the door, and you can see that things will still be clear for the most part for the start of our Wednesday. But this front that you're seeing on your screen right here, that's going to drive our forecast moving into the latter part of this week. So these warm conditions, they do not stick around forever. We will get to enjoy them into our Wednesday afternoon before that cold air pushes in. So enjoy your Wednesday afternoon and evening plans, because it is going to be a clear, a dry, and a warmer forecast than where things currently stand here in North Mississippi. Now getting into our Wednesday night, yes, the cold front not bringing any rainfall, but it is going to start to cool off those temperatures once again heading into the latter part of this week. Not talking upper 20s, but we could be talking back into the low 30s and potentially low 50s for highs. So just taking a step down from where we'll get to warm up to by Wednesday afternoon. That, of course, is taking place Thursday and will cool off pretty tremendously by the time we get towards the weekend as well. Still some questions on that forecast, but we're continuing to monitor those changes, and we'll keep you updated here on Mississippi Live Weather. High temperatures for Wednesday, 58 in New Albany, 56 in Booneville, 62. Ooh, I am excited about that. They're in Starkville, same thing, Greenwood, Belzona, and 60 in Cleveland, above our average for this time of year. And again, it's been a while since we've been able to say that, but we have no complaints, and I'm not saying that this is a time to go out to the pool, but hey, it's at least trending in the right direction. High temperatures, as you can see, climbing into Wednesday, but once that front moves through, dropping those high temperatures back on Thursday to 54 degrees. They climb once again 57 degrees by Friday, but then we have another front, bringing with it some rainfall for Saturday, and that's why Saturday and Sunday are in the upper 40s for highs. This does look a little bit better than where things sat 24 hours ago, and the big driver in that forecast is the fact that we have moisture now pushing in on our weekend planner. So it's not going to be that dry pattern like we tracked yesterday. We said when moisture moves into the forecast, those temperatures warm up. It's exactly what's taking place. So this is a forecast that we expect to change even over the next 5 days, working our way into the weekend. So keep it here for the very latest, but Saturday and Sunday, definitely the days we're circling on this 7-day forecast. Now, looking at that 7-day forecast, you can see that we are dry up until Friday, even with that front interacting with our area. But then Saturday, 30% chance of rainfall. Both of our long track models agreeing with this. A new development since what we saw yesterday, so we're keeping eyes on that behind the scenes. But fortunately, we have no rainfall tonight, and tonight is a busy night across North Mississippi, of course, in Booneville. That's where we are for our Christmas Parade coverage, and our Chief Meteorologist, Matt Lopon, joins us live from there right now, tracking those cold temperatures, but also getting us ready for that 6 o'clock hour when the parade kicks off.
So I have a special guest, or some special guest with me. What's your name?
Ray Miller.
Ray Miller. Are you excited for the Christmas Parade tonight? What are you most excited about?
Excited about everything.
Everything. The lights, the candy, maybe Santa. Yeah. No, is it cold enough for you?
A little bit.
A little bit cold. Well, hey, hopefully you have fun at the parade tonight. Give me a bump. All right. Hey, very nice to meet you. We'll talk to y'all in just a second here. You know, behind me, the Christmas parade's starting to get all lined up. As you can see, everyone's starting to kind of arrive, even between the beginning of the show and now. It's more visible, actually, with the Mississippi Live drone. If we go up to that shot there, Gabe, kind of above us, looking at the conditions and looking really at all the parade starting to line up here again. Parade gets going, coming up during, and I think I think, Gabe, on this, we still once again have audio in the background of this. So since that's in the background of this drone shot, let's just bring it back to the other shot here, if we could, and we will fix that for the 6 o'clock broadcast. Sorry about that. Yeah, we'll have to kind of fix that in the background there for the 6 o'clock broadcast. Make sure that's not in the background of that shot. For whatever reason, it sounded like there was a lot of audio going on there. Most of that's not here, but we do again have a lot of folks kind of getting ready and getting all set up for that 6 o'clock start. So a bunch of Christmas parades going on around the region tonight, and certainly a lot of Christmas spirit engaged. I think everyone's just happy, despite it being cold, and maybe would like to see a flake or two, which is not going to come out of this. At least it's not wet, and that's, a big improvement there. So come from live in Booneville. Y'all ready for the parade tonight?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Huh?
Looking at the winning float.
Well, the fact that it kind of looks like, those are, what is this, a gingerbread house?
Yes.
With, I love it.
Gingerbread church.
Yeah, that's right. Gingerbread house of God.
Yeah.
But hey, I hope y'all win. Good luck.
Thank you.
Awesome. So be looking for that, and obviously many other floats coming up at the parade tonight here in Booneville. I do appreciate the good folks at MLM Clothiers for sponsoring our coverage of all these different Christmas parades here across North Mississippi. I've been, in a lot of ways, a clothing sponsor of mine over the years, and we're excited to be partnering with them now on this new venture as everybody gets lined up for this big parade here. So a reminder that, again, you want to make sure to bundle up. You want to make sure to have as many layers as possible on. And I might actually be in this parade, I think, with the folks in Northeast. They say apparently they got a brand new Gator I get to ride along with the band. See, Gabe, it once again comes back to that band connection. You see, when you're in high school, you think, oh, it's the athletes who have all the connections. Nope, it's the band nerds. Anyway, send it back to you there in the studio, Gabe. Live here from Booneville on the Northeast campus, getting ready for the Christmas parade. Come up here in just a little bit. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lawpalm for Mississippi Live Weather.
Now, those floats are something else. My word, they were popping off. I am so excited to see all the floats there in Booneville, there with Northeast, but also just folks around the Prentice County area. An exciting time, and I hope that you guys are excited as well. I do want to say that heading into the 6 o'clock hour, that's when Booneville's does start, but we also have West Point, we have Louisville, and we have Starkville. I believe West Point is the one that's at 6:30. The others are at 6 o'clock. So plenty across the area that you guys get to enjoy, basically working all the way down Highway 45. So if you live anywhere on those parts of Northeast Mississippi, then make sure to head out there and enjoy it. I believe Smithville was also on the list. I don't know their time, but if you have any other Christmas parades, go ahead and drop those in the chat, and we will make sure to forward that along. But excited to be in Booneville. Cold. Hey, we can handle it. That's why we're meteorologists. But definitely an exciting time, and we hope that you guys are excited as well as we keep that going into the 6 o'clock hour. If you have not done so already, best way to stay prepared heading out the door to those Christmas parades is with the Mississippi Live Weather app. Go ahead and get the free app today, both on iOS and Android. Scanning the QR code on your screen allows you to do so. We also have it on our streaming services, so go to that, search Mississippi Live, and we'll pull right up. Our next broadcast, I've been teasing it a couple of times, but that's at 6 o'clock tonight, and then we'll be back live at 10 o'clock with the latest on what we can expect for the rest of this work week. And 6:37 and 7:30, don't forget our morning shows live every weekday morning with meteorologist Maggie McCauley. She'll be tracking a cold forecast there from Senatobia, but it's going to be a cold one all across North Mississippi. She'll have the very latest for you coming up on Mississippi Live Weather.
Some people judge a book by its cover, and if you're not what people are looking for, you're kind of like a reject.
School, it feels like everyone's staring at me, and I'm just kind of not really a person.
It just feels hard today. Nobody was listening to me.
And I'll try to understand me more, and I'll try to do the same.
Listening is a form of love. Find ways to support your kids at soundedouttogether.org.